Hey everyone, this is Derek here, and today we're going to be taking a look at another accessory for the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 from AT&T, and this is the Seidio Active Case. It's a two-part case that is marketed to provide more protection than their thinner Surface case, which is very similar to the case that's on the Note 2 right now. And right now I have the body glove from Sprint. And for an unboxing and my initial thoughts on that, I will put a link in the description and probably up here somewhere. So we are going to find out how this case performs, as well as how it fits the phone. So we'll see if we can open it up here. Not exactly sure. Alright, well, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to open it, but it works. So we're going to pull it out. I guess I should take a look at the box first. Let's see here. Combo includes active matching holster. Well, I didn't get the holster because I don't really wear a belt that much, so I really don't have a use for a holster. Crafted from durable yet flexible material. Sure, two-layer case provides shock and scratch protection. Yeah, that's the big thing here. Is a two-part case should provide more shock protection than the thin line cases like the body glove or the Surface, which are great cases, but marketed towards people who really don't want to add a lot of bulk to their phone, and this is a rather large device already, so I can see where they're coming from when they say they want that. Yeah, soft touch coating offers grip. Well, we'll see how that performs, because as I mentioned in the review of the body glove, which I'm going to slip off right now, the phone by itself is very slippery, especially once you accumulate some fingerprint oil on the back. It's not only a fingerprint magnet, it's also a very slippery one. And this is a phone that with a 5.5-inch pane of glass, larger than that even because of the glass up here and there, you're really opening yourself up to it cracking pretty easily. So we are going to take a look at this case. We're going to pull the hard backing off of it and pop their little product stuff. Let's see here. Okay, so this is pretty much just how to insert it into a two-part case. If you've never used a two-part case before, it is exactly what the name implies. I'm just trying to get some of this paper stuff out of here from the shipping. Alright, so we'll slide it in, and there it goes, it's in. I do like, right away, it's pretty reassuring that it's a very tight, it's not a very tight fit, I guess, you know, as in constricting the phone, but it's very grippy. There isn't a lot of play here, which is good because that gives me some confidence that when you're pulling it out of your pocket or whatnot, it's not going to slide out. So I like the way it fits there. And then to complete the look, we're going to put this guy on. And to put the second layer on, typically just go corners first, and then you work your way up or down the phone. Alright, and it's on. So this is the AT&T Samsung Galaxy Note 2 in the two-part Seidio Active Case, and it feels pretty solid. I much prefer the lip that this has too. I mentioned it with the body glove, where it has enough of a lip. Some cases don't. Some of the real thin ones don't. This one has enough that if you put it, you know, face down and like on a table or something, and it slides around, you won't scratch up your screen. But this one provides an even larger lip. Well, it does add obviously additional profile to the device when you're talking about adding, you know, that extra lip here. But I would much prefer this for drop protection, because if it drops, you know, corner down, which is like the dreaded angle, there's a much better chance that the screen will survive when you have a fair bit of, you know, silicone and plastic in between. So let's see how it looks. Well, obviously, here's another difference between this case and some of the thinner ones, is this one uses a rubber like overlay for the buttons, because you know, if they didn't have this here, number one, you'd be trying to press your finger in, you know, a few millimeters to to get to the button because this case is thicker. So we'll see how it feels, and that feels quite good actually. I mentioned in a previous video that I don't really like cases that cover the buttons because sometimes there's like a diminished tactile feel there, but this one, I don't know if the mic picks it up, but it's actually still quite tactile. It gives good response, good feedback, which is nice. So that one feels good. It feels well aligned. The volume rocker is the same. And it's actually, that's pretty good. Yeah, it feels quite good. The noise canceling mic and the headphone port appear to be aligned well. The flash and the camera look okay. And I don't know if it's an issue with other colors, but one of the other reasons that I picked the black cases, other than like just the minimalistic look and like the more industrial look that I like, is that sometimes if you have a bright color here, it can affect the flash. And I know this was an issue on the iPhone 4 and 4S. I don't really know if it's an issue on the 5 or not, but if you used a case that wasn't properly cut out or properly designed for the flash, it would end up flaring on the lens whenever you use the flash, which kind of defeated the purpose of it. So it looks like even with that larger S Pen cut out there, and say it is a little trickier to get the S Pen out, especially if you don't have any fingernails. It's kind of tough to dig it out. But again, that's the price you pay for, at quite a bit of protection, added protection. And when, if you drop it, you're going to appreciate that, definitely. Micro USB looks like it's good. The other mic looks good, and then on the back, of course, you have your speaker grill. So honestly, all that looks pretty decent. Like I said, these are just my initial impressions on the case, and I'll probably do a follow-up in another few days or whatnot, or a week later or whatnot after I carry it around, because this is probably the case that I'm going to be sticking with, only because I like the added protection. I like to be able to put it in my pocket, and if something bangs up against the phone, I don't really have to worry about it breaking. And that's just another point I want to make too about a hard plastic versus like a very pliable gel-like material, or even more flexible would be one of the cases that's just a pure silicone case or silicone sleeve, is that they don't really provide any added rigidity. And what I mean by that is, if you have the phone in your pocket, and I know they say don't put your smartphone in your pocket or whatnot, because it puts a lot of pressure on it depending on like how tight your pants are, if you're sitting down, standing up, doing whatever. But the issue is with a panel of glass that's this large, it doesn't necessarily take a drop to break the screen because the screen is glued on. And I know they show videos online of the Gorilla Glass 2 or Gorilla Glass being bent at some obscene angle. I mean, they're pretty much be like, hey, look, this is glass, it's not breaking, this is awesome, which it is, and it's great glass, but once you glue it down to a screen, it can't flex, and instead it's going to shatter. So sometimes I've heard of people getting stress fractures on large panels of glass like this or the S3 just from the phone flexing, because the phones are getting thinner and thinner, and the glass technology can only advance so quickly. So you have a thin phone with less rigidity and less resistance to torquing in either direction. And when you have a hard plastic case like this one, it provides some additional protection against the phone flexing. So that's just another reason why I prefer phones that are have a rigid back on them. So I guess the other thing we should take a look at is a rather unique feature to this case, which is the kickstand. And the kickstand is fairly simplistic. It's held in place by let's see if you can see it. It's held in place by a small magnet here, and it's obviously, once you press it down to a certain level, the magnet catches and it stays there. And this magnet doesn't feel very, very strong, which is probably a good thing. It feels strong enough that I wouldn't worry about this. I was gonna say, I can probably go like, okay, so that is one of the issues with a weaker magnet, is that if the phone, and I'm not doing this terribly hard, but it is possible to, if the phone lands or bounces or whatnot, it is possible for this kickstand to, to pop open and possibly be damaged. But that's really necessary because if you use a stronger magnet, it will interfere with the S Pen, because the S Pen Wacom technology uses a similar type of. Let's see here. I'm curious if it if the S Pen tracks well still. It appears it does. I'm just checking it down by this magnet here. Let's check apps. Alright, that works. Do some cool gestures. Alright, so it appears, and again, I'll add this to a follow-up if more extensive testing proves otherwise. However, right now at least, it appears that the S Pen tracks well, where I would think that it might get some interference from that magnet. So that's a good thing. So we'll see. The stand, I'm not sure how much I'll really make use of it. It feels fairly solid. It wiggles a little bit back and forth, and like I said, that magnet isn't very strong. But for something like that, for viewing movies or YouTube, or even playing a game, if you had a Bluetooth gaming controller, I could definitely see the draw to having something like that, and it really doesn't add that much bulk to the edge of the device. And again, one issue that does come along with adding bulk there and not adding something up here to compensate is that if you press down on the home button, you get the whole phone kind of rises up like that. But again, there's no way really around that other than making the rest of the case thicker to compensate for the stand, or adding something up here, and it probably just wouldn't make much sense to do that. So again, this is the Seidio Active Case. It's a two-part case, and they're more protective of the two, the Surface and the Active, that they offer. And this is the AT&T Samsung Galaxy Note 2. I am Derek, and if you like this video, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, because as I said in a previous one, if I hit 25 subscribers, I'm going to definitely give away at least one case, maybe 2 or 3, because what happened was I originally got the phone on Friday and I needed a case for it, and nobody had a case, so I went online to Amazon and I ordered what I thought was a decent case off of there, and it is. I was actually waiting for some of the more reputable manufacturers to put out cases for the product, which they hadn't, just because it was so new. So anyways, one other thing I forgot to do actually, and I had mentioned it earlier, is compare the grip. So let's see how it feels in the hand. I like this a lot, that they have that textured surface on the sides versus having something smooth like this case, where this case is great in the back, but earlier today even I was holding the phone pretty loosely like this, typing on it, and it almost just slipped out like this, because it's a fairly heavy phone, and like I said, the sides just don't provide much of a grip. So I definitely like that. The soft touch, they call it like a soft touch feel. It's very similar to what Dell uses on their parts in some of their laptops. Like it's a soft touch, like matte feel, and it's actually pretty grippy. It's plastic, but it feels kind of rubbery. And I would prefer if this were textured. I like the look of it. It's tricky. It's a trade-off, because I like the look of it the way it is right now. But at the same point, if it was more textured, obviously maybe not as aggressively as this one is, but if it was textured and still like soft touch, or still had some rubber in it, I feel like that would provide even more grip than this does, because the silicone layer feels great, and it definitely provides quite a bit of additional grip over the stock one. I think I'll be quite happy with this, but the area they could improve on is the back. So, as I said before, if I hit 25 subscribers, I'm definitely going to give away at least one case, maybe 2 or 3. So all you have to do to enter that is to leave a comment on this video and to subscribe to my channel. And I'll let you know if we hit that number. I'll let you guys know who won, and I'll contact you for a shipping address. So stay tuned right here for more product reviews. We have a number of other cases coming in. Fortunately or unfortunately, the cases are going to keep showing up. And I also ordered the external battery charger for an additional battery, so we'll take a look at that. Look at the video dock perhaps. And if you want this phone compared to any of the other ones that were just released, as long as it's a phone that's in an AT&T or Verizon or Sprint store, I'd be more than willing to take a look at it and do some comparisons. So this is Derek, and I'll see you guys soon.